Hello, Karate 360 fans, and welcome back to your favorite karate-specific podcast. I'm one of your co-hosts, Kalen Anglos.
I'm Richard Mosdell.
Today, we're going to give you all the latest news that we've seen in the past week in the karate world, including the Asian Karate Federation Senior Championships. We're going to give you the meaning of kata, and we are also going to talk about how you can increase your muscular endurance for karate performance. Richard, take us away.
Karate 360, let's start the show. You will kick high and I will sweep low from local to global. It's the thing that you love. Karate! Sanrokumaru! いいですね。このポッドキャストが多分たくさんのお客さん私たちのポッドキャストを聞いてからすごく空手の理解を聞いて本当に皆さんありがとうございました。また応援してください。さっきのフラッシュ先生のセミナーがすごく良かったです。みんな満足しました。
はい。
大丈夫、ケイレン先生。
はい、はい、先生。All right. what was that?
I said, thank you very much for everyone listening to this podcast. Really appreciate it. Hope you learned something from karate. And then Furuhashi Sensei's seminar last weekend was really good. Everyone really was satisfied by it.
Awesome.
Manzoku.
No, that's manzoku.
Manzoku.
That's satisfied.
Satisfied.
Manzoku. What was, you told me one time we were on the ferry and there was a group of Japanese students just there. And, of course, you couldn't help yourself. You spoke to them in Japanese. And you kind of taught me the Japanese equivalent to, like, excuse me. Like, I'm in your way, excuse me.
Sumimasen.
Sumimasen. Right. So I tried to say that, but that's not at all what I said. So I was speaking to somebody in English, but I knew they knew Japanese.
Sure.
And then as I tried to like squeeze by them, I looked at them and I said, I don't even remember the words that came out. I was like, I think I said toimasen. That's what it was. I was like, toimasen. I was like, no, wait, that's not it. Munimasen. They're like, what are you trying to say? And I was like, never mind, it's ruined. And just sometimes Japanese words, we say them, but we don't really know what we mean. Like, for example, I know at the beginning of classes, when we bow, we say, Anishimasu.
Onegaishimasu.
Onegaishimasu.
Yep.
And after we say,
Arigatou gozaimashita. Arigatou gozaimashita.
I couldn't tell you the difference between them.
First one is, please be nice to me.
Anishimasu.
Onegaishimasu.
So please be
nice to me.
Nice to me.
And there's really no
Onegaishimasu.
perfect translation. It's just one of those, it's in that ballpark.
Now, do people in Japan use this outside of the karate world? Like if you were to say...
If you were here last weekend,
yes.
Every time Furuhashi Sensei met, everybody shook someone's hand. He was like, oh, nice to meet you. Onegaishimasu. Oh, nice to meet you. Onegaishimasu.
Please be nice.
And everyone looked at me like, there wasn't lying. Do you say onegaishimasu like 500 times a day?
Okay.
Onegaishimasu. Hi, onegaishimasu. Yeah. And then arigatou gozaimashita is thank you.
Just thank you. Arigatou gozaimashita.
Arigatou gozaimashita. Yeah.
I think it helps to see it written out. But
and once you figure out how to make the sounds of Japanese, it's really easy to pronounce.
Yes.
Super easy.
Okay.
A, I, U, E, O, kaki, kuke, ko.
Yeah.
It's just like we'll go to Japan next year. You'll be there for 2 weeks. At the end, you'll just be like, I can say so much stuff. I totally got the stock phrases down.
Sure. What's one word that people use in Japanese, maybe in karate, that either they use completely incorrectly or that they don't typically even know what it means? Is there anything
outside of Japan?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
100%.
Us.
Us is a dirty word. Never use it.
I thought you might pick that.
Yeah.
Because I know we don't say us here, and I know your thoughts are kind of, it's like almost like a cult mentality.
Yeah. It's pre-World War II.
So what is the meaning of us?
Us is, well, in the martial art groups that use it, it's got all encatchment like hello and yes, and I will do it. Are we going to train hard? Us, right?
Sensei.
Yeah.
Us.
But it's actually considered kind of a dirty word. So
like what in Japan people don't say us?
Only if you're like super cool and macho and you're in the Kyokushin world. And some of the world, like they try to appropriate the meaning for their own purposes as like a tribe building recognition word. So there's some groups that still say os, but in polite Japanese society and in regular martial arts, they don't say os.
Okay.
There's that one. People just mispronounce a gazillion things.
Sure, of course. I've been saying arigatou I've been saying that ever since I was 7 years old, and I'm sure I'm.
For example, when you have a tournament and the referee's in the front, and they say shobu hajime.
Yes.
Shobu means start fighting.
Yes.
Right. Then they say yamei. They give a point, and then they go. Their hands go suzukite hajime, and everyone goes hajime ichi. And then they never say the word. But even in Japan, suzukite, there's a D sound in there, and it's hard to get out.
Yes.
So even in Japan, they don't clearly say it. They just go suzukite hajime.
Okay.
Suzukite hajime, and they try to skip over it. But when you're in a seminar, they're like, you aren't an idiot. Pronounce it properly. And you have to say suzukite hajime.
In class, I've been really trying to channel my inner,
Samurai?
my inner samurai.
Yep.
And whenever we do free sparring, I go, Shobu Hajime. It just as Japanese as I can.
In the end, it has to be quick to activate them, like Shobu Hajime.
Yes.
Shobu Hajime. But I love doing that stuff.
Oh, so much fun. So much
like
fun.
teach them how to kiai by saying it's like samurai.
What's kiai? What does kiai mean? Like, what's
It
the
means
translation?
to meet and energy meets.
Okay.
So the idea of bringing everything together. Now, if you're like a Buddhist or mystical person, you're like, oh, my ki is coming up. But ki doesn't exist.
Right.
Right?
Ki or chi?
Same
Chi.
thing.
Same thing. Okay.
Same thing. I mean, in your kinesiology courses, have you taken your chi course yet?
haven't taken a chi
Doesn't
course,
exist. Pseudoscience, and pseudoscience is like, really easy to fool people.
Sure.
We actually had someone talking to us today about some pseudoscience until we said, you realize you're talking about pseudoscience.
Sure.
But
I think there is something else outside of just what science knows too, though. Like, science can't really explain feelings, right? I mean,
the electrical impulses in your brain giving you a feeling.
Yes, sure, but it can't explain, how it comes about. Like, yes, there's electrical impulses. Yes, there's going to be hormones and that kind of stuff involved.
Yeah.
But that's just chemical reactions in your brain.
Well, it's not saying it's not. First, they actually kind of know quite a bit about how feelings and things are created, and how what parts of the brain is actually working when you're having a feeling or an emotion or something like that, and what parts they don't know. They don't just go, well, we don't know, so it's God,
right?
Or we don't know, so it's aliens,
sure,
right? Just because we don't know, we just don't know yet, but we'll figure it out.
Yes.
But ki, if we get back to the idea of kiai,
sure.
is the yell, but there is a concept of like that whole kinetic chain coming together to the critical moment, right? Using all your words,
critical
right?
impact,
critical impact,
moment. That's the
critical moment, right?
Yeah.
That's when your breath and your mind and everything, like you shouldn't be thinking about last night's pizza at that moment. Like boom, everything should come together. I love the idea of like Serena Williams when she hits the baseball,
the tennis ball.
That's it. See how I am in sport. I was thinking in my mind tennis ball, right? Anyway, she goes, like, okay, she's kiaing basically.
Yeah,
right?
With the hockey stick.
With a hockey stick, right? On in water polo.
That's right.
Anyway, so and there's a saying, every karate technique has a kiai, which means you bring everything together for that critical moment, right? Yeah,
interesting stuff.
And that's why you make a lot of kids yell like I. So that hopefully that helps them focus.
Yes.
And then adults don't have to yell as much.
Sure, that's great. Tell me a little bit more about this Funahashi Sensei seminar.
Greatest seminar ever.
That's what I've heard.
Is that what some people told you?
Yeah, they said it was great.
It was. I'd seen him teach a little bit before, and I thought this guy's really like down to earth, super relatable, no ego. He doesn't walk around going, "You're slow, you're slow." No, it was so good. He was so polished. He was so prepared. He went through all the katas and explained all the applications for everything. And then, like, whether I knew it or not, it was good for me. It was like a tune-up. So, like, oh yeah, that's right. But the thing is, for years, people in Wadokai didn't get down and do the applications. So like, no, if you do the applications, it's paint by numbers. It's too Shotokan-y. We got to be able to think of a ton of varieties.
Was he Wado?
He's Wadokai.
He's Wado, yeah.
He's Wadokai. It was so good. He not only did all these really practical applications for every single move, he was bang on. It's like he rehearsed it 1,000 times.
Sure, yeah. Well, I mean, he probably has given it 1,000 times.
Yeah. And he was just, it was probably the best karate seminar that I've ever attended, and really felt like, wow, I really know it, instead of like, I really got to have my foot here because it should be here best for my balance.
Sure,
and he's like, here, this is why we put our foot here. This is why we block.
And that's saying a lot coming from you, who's been to a lot of high level seminars.
Yeah. Like,
that's
awesome. It was really good. Been to see lots of 7th and 8th downs, but sometimes the 7th and 8th down will just look at you and go like, you're too stupid, you're too slow, you'll never get it, move your foot. and then they just walk over to the next person.
Sure.
He would like, no, we're all going to figure this out. And he would show the main key moves, not all the applications.
No, that's awesome.
That was awesome.
What was, because I'm dying to know, and I know it's out there, there was some sort of, maybe, I don't know if you're allowed to say that, but there was some sort of take-away message or final message or something like that. You've been saying to everybody, remember the final message.
Yes. So the final message was, he said, don't just practice without thinking of the meaning of the move.
Okay.
And then give yourself a goal, aka go for the Dan test. If you're constantly striving for the Dan test, then you're constantly trying to improve your karate. And it's not about learning 50 katas, knowing 10,000 different moves. It's about knowing the core moves better and better and be able to perform them better and better and know the meaning better and better over time.
Sure, that makes sense.
And so he doesn't want us, like, his suggestion is, when there's different people from different karate clubs are there too. And he's like, a lot of you are just moving. You're not actually thinking. You're not actually thinking, like, your head, I'm blocking my head, but your chin is still exposed. So you're not actually thinking about it. And then you got to think, in a test situation, they're going to be looking at me not knowing I'm not knowing.
Yes.
Yeah. So that was really cool. He's like, don't just train. You must give yourself a goal, because if you give yourself a goal, you'll actually train for the goal.
Sure. Train with purpose.
Train with purpose.
Yeah.
There's a good saying.
Yeah. Train with purpose. I believe that 100%. You can't just go through the motions, like you said.
Yep.
You got to know what you're doing and know what needs to change in order to meet your goal, whatever that goal is. Good. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I was just going to say, so we had the Dan test.
Yes.
On what was it, Sunday,
Sunday,
right? Yeah. How was that?
5 people went for it from 3 different clubs. There were 3 people who passed.
Boom.
One of them was our own Owen Brady.
Congratulations. Congratulations, Owen Brady. That's awesome. So another Shodan in the house.
In the house.
Congratulations.
That's right.
How long was the Shodan test?
Let's see. We did moving basics. Then they had to do 3 katas each. Then they had to do Kihon Kute, the 2-person drills, just 1 and 2.
Okay.
And they had to do sparring, and I made them do a little extra sparring.
Sweet.
And switched around a bit. So it took just over an hour. And then for the judges' consultation afterwards, it took us about 20, 30 minutes. And the way I can't tell you all each person's results or whatever like that. But basically, the way it works in this style is the judges sit down, and they have for each category, the person went basics, kata, kumite, whatever. You can either give them a circle, a triangle, or an X. Okay, this is a very old way of doing it in Japan. All right, so if you look at your list and you go, well, I've got more circles than triangles, this person's obviously going to pass.
Okay.
And then they go around and go, what do you think it is? And there's normally a chief who's in charge who may, in a dojo like ours, before black belt, the chief instructor will be the person who makes the final decision.
Yes, yeah.
The people they're giving suggestions. In a grading panel, they may count it all and see where they come, or it still might fall to the chief instructor or the chief person. Anyway, circles, triangles, X's. If you're getting a lot of triangles, then most likely, and you're kind of then you're on the line.
Yeah.
A lot of times you'll fail.
Okay.
Because they want to see a strong pass.
Sure.
If you're getting triangles and X's, and it's
no pass.
It's not going to pass. So 5 people went for it, 3 people passed. And so the first thing you do in the meeting is you go, okay, who's a clear pass?
Yeah.
And then everyone says these people are a clear pass. And then if there's like a consensus, there's no discussion. Right?
Yeah. Why about, yeah.
Right? There may be discussion later about why they passed.
Sure.
And then you go through, okay, who's on the line, who's all the triangles, and who has X's. And then there's some discussion. And sometimes you have to think about the background of the person. Like, know, do they have a disability? Do they have an injury?
Yeah.
What's their age?
Sure.
Yep.
No, that sounds great. And congratulations again to Owen and everybody else who passed
exactly
the Shodan test. So that's good. We also know that we have another seminar coming
World
up.
Champions are just coming in.
We never have world champions. never, ever have world champions in Canada.
So we have one in
but
February.
We have 2.
Yeah, we have one in February, then we have in July.
And 2 in the last month.
Yeah, exactly.
Who's coming?
Katada Sensei.
Katada-san. Takashi Katada.
Yeah, so 2002 WKF World
Kata Champion. Yeah.
And
2002. That's huge.
3-time All Japan National Kata
That's
Champion.
Crazy.
I saw him win all 2006, 7, 8.
Oh yeah.
He sent us 3 17-minute DVDs, different ones, promoting his city and him and all that sort of stuff. So I took all the karate stuff out of it and I cut it together in a 5-minute promo clip for him.
Cool.
Which I'm going to put out tonight.
That's awesome.
You can see how sharp and fancy he is. Some people might remember him because he used to shave his head.
Okay.
He's a Japanese guy who used to shave his head.
Okay.
He's been to some friends clubs. He's had people travel there. He had like several different national teams go over and train with him.
Go and train with him.
So it's big. It's a really big deal. And it'll be great to have him come over.
That's awesome. So when is it? It's August 11th and 12th here at Kensington Sports Karate in Victoria.
And then we have one in Vancouver.
August 14th in Vancouver. So sign up for any of those. Email, I guess, contact at Kensington Sports
Contact
Karate.
Kensington directly for Victoria. And then it's online on Tracky on Karate BC for the 14th.
And where is that going to be?
That's going to be in Burnaby.
Hollyburn? No.
Burnaby.
Okay, so BKA or something.
It's going to be at a recreation center called Bonzer Recreation Complex beside Metrotown.
All right, there you go. So we'll find
I picked Metrotown. You can pay me later because it's by the SkyTrain.
Perfect. All right.
Yes.
You got it? Let's get into a little bit of Karate Global News because we got some news to bring you.
Heavy hitters.
This past week was the 15th AKF Asian Karate Federation Senior Championship.
Ba-boom. Oh, where was it? Was Jordan? Where was it?
Yeah, Jordan. That's right.
That's right.
It was in Jordan.
Amman.
Yep.
Amman, Jordan.
And it was on July 10th to the 14th. So again, this gets all the top athletes in Asia together to compete to see who is the AKF champion. It must be a big deal, obviously.
It's huge. It's Asia. It's huge.
Have you ever been?
I've never been. I think the year I left Japan, they had it in Yokohama.
Okay.
But it floats around Asia. Big countries that would have hosted are like, Taiwan. Some of the Middle Eastern countries obviously are hosting it.
Sure.
I think Malaysia has. Iran is strong. There's a lot of strong countries here.
Yeah, so we have the results from this past AKF Senior Championships. We're going to go over them with all the athletes we have. So let's get to it. Do we want to do the start from the top?
Sure.
I'll say the division. You say the athlete. Again, these are the gold medalists in the AKF Senior Championships. Here we go. Female kata.
Kiyoshimizu.
Who else? Kiyoshimizu winning gold. She's second in the WKF rankings right now. We know.
Wow.
Right. So that's.
I wonder how many points they gave her too.
Yeah, I wonder how much they get for a style or an AKF specific one here. I'm sure we could find that out. But let's just keep going here. So we got female kumite minus 50 kilograms.
Minus 50. Also from Japan, Miho Miyahara.
I feel like we've seen her name.
Oh yeah, she's been up a couple times.
We've seen her name before too. Female kumite minus 55 kilogram.
Is Sun Yun Wen from Chinese Taipei.
And female kumite minus 61 kilograms.
Xiaoyan Yin from China.
And female kumite minus 68 kilograms.
Kayo Somea from Japan.
Female kumite 68 plus.
It's Amida Abasa from Iran.
And let's go over the female team kata.
Japan.
And team kumite.
Japan. Just crushing it.
Just taking over. All right, let's move on to the male divisions. Male kata champion.
Goes by Ryo Kiyuna.
Who else? Ryo Kiyuna. So Ryo Kiyuna and Kiyoshimizu at the top again of their kata worlds. That's awesome. Male kumite minus 55 kilograms.
Hamdid Hassan from Iran.
Minus 60 kilograms.
Is Abdullah Shabun from Vietnam.
Minus 67.
Oh, no, sorry. It wasn't from Vietnam. It was from AKF 1? Afghanistan 1?
It says AKF. So
that could be a blended. Could be refugee.
It could be, yes. Yeah. Let's go minus 67 kilograms.
Bashar Al-Anjar from Jordan, hometown.
Male kumite minus 75 kilograms.
Well, here we come. Ryutaro Araga, back on top. Japan.
So that's minus 84. And then kumite plus 84.
Is Saleh Abazadi from Iran.
And finally, male team kata.
Japan.
Male team kumite.
Iran.
That's it.
Didn't I just say like two big countries were Japan and Iran?
And there they are.
They won everything except one for Chinese Taipei, one for Vietnam.
Really?
and one for Jordan and one for AKF 1.
So 1-1 and then everything else.
This guy's so strong.
So strong. So big showing there for Japan. And again, in the top of the kata there, we had Kiyo Shimizu and Ryo Kiyuna as per usual. I just want to take a look here at the female kata WKF rankings. I'm pretty sure Kiyo Shimizu is in second, and she is. Sandra Sanchez from Spain is in first by a long shot. So Sandra Sanchez has 8,000 points. Kiyo Shimizu has 6,000. But I also want to see...
How many points did she get for that tournament?
Yeah, that's what I want to see. So maybe if they haven't updated it here quite yet, but let's see. They haven't. They haven't updated actually the points yet for this one. So it'll be interesting to see how many points she gets for that. You'd think it'd be a lot.
Oh, it's going to be huge, 950 or something like that.
So, I mean, it gives her a lot of points. But again, Sandra Sanchez has 8,000 points, so it's still not quite close. But, I mean, if she keeps winning tournaments, it's going to be good. On the other end, the male kata, Ryo Kiyuna, is in first place in terms of the overall WKF rankings. Not by much, though. Damien Quintero is right behind him there. So, staying a little bit ahead. And, again, his results, Ryo Kiyuna's, also haven't been added, so he'll be up a little bit more. So the two top kata athletes in Japan, right at the midst of it there at the top of the WKF rankings.
And I think it's about now when really we're like just under a year from
for the World Championships.
Not just World Championships, but also
the qualifiers.
The qualifiers.
Sure. Yeah.
Right? Like it's really happened. It
happens. Now you got to be a point getter.
Exactly.
Now you got to be a point getter. All right, so there you go. That's the results from the AKF Senior Championships here, brought to you by the Karate 360 podcast.
Hey!
All right, let's move on to your little technical tactical. Take it away.
All right, so let's go through what some of the stuff Fudahashi Sensei did on the weekend. So one thing he did is he took a 4-foot bow staff called a jo, which we have in the dojo.
Okay.
And he constantly was like, let's use it. He walked around with it all the time, like, let's align your body, make sure. And everyone go like, all right, on this stance, how are you supposed to be? And they said, my heel's supposed to be in line. And he put it down on the floor. You go, your heels are not in line. You go, next person, how are you supposed to be in your front stance? Oh, my knee's supposed to be over my ankle. They take the bow, and you put it beside the knee, and you could see that the knee was 3 to 4 inches on the inside of the ankle above the floor.
So simple, but yet so effective.
I mean, stuff that your instructor is constantly telling, like, straighten your leg, bend your knee, do this.
But to visually see, like, well, exactly. It's not, because look. Yeah. Unless the bow's bent.
Exactly. It's cooler. And then, like, he'd have, like, like an open hand technique, and one hand is on the chest. And he's like, okay, so what's that hand for? I'm like, I might be able to strike with it. And the person's hand would be on, like, it's supposed to be pointing at the opponent, and it's pointing to the side. Yeah. And he goes, well, it's pointing to the side. And he goes, yeah, but I could still use it. And he goes, well, let's look at, you put the bow down and it's pointing off to the side. He goes, so you have to remember, what was my thing? You need a reason to understand it. And then remember, you're going to be tested on it. And they're going to look at you and go, well, yeah, you could use it, but why don't you point it at where the person actually is and change the bow? And so it was so neat for it to, when I started karate, it was more common for people to use like bows and sticks and stuff to help show your alignment.
Sure.
Then after a while, people were like, no, I can just
beating kids with it.
Well, other than, it was the shinai. Yeah. So that was really cool. So he was, and then like he'd move the bow towards you, like he was stabbing. Yeah. So now there was a while, and I don't know what your karate experience was like, but when I started, we always practiced like the application. You'd have like one person, the other two people would run around, and they'd do like the real strict application of it, like in a team kata bunkai performance.
Okay.
Right? Then for a while they're like, no, it's paint by numbers, it's Shotokan sort of style. And there's nothing at Shotokan. They just would always say like, let's not be so rigid in our thinking. Let's, instead of bunkai, let's think of oyo, all the applications. So they stopped doing it. You would ask like an 8th dan, hey, what's the application of this? Like, well, there's many. And the simple fact you ask me means you don't know.
Which means you don't deserve to know the answer.
You don't deserve to know the answer. It's like, oh man, this is a loop. But Sasaki Sensei is cool because he's outside of Tokyo, right? Like he's not in Tokyo. He's in Aichi-ken, which is between Tokyo and Osaka. So it's like countryside. And they don't have the same like political pressures or tension, so you can get back to like, let's just focus on what the reason was.
Sure.
No,
I think that's great.
Instead of just performing to win whatever. So what I want to do is show a really quick few seconds of a Shotokan video from 1993.
And who is this?
I can't remember her name because she's in the JKA.
But she's doing Kankudai.
Kankudai. And this is This is Champ made it. Now Champ at this time made a whole series of videos for all the major styles. I have they called it the Bible of karate.
Okay.
And they did each one. So we're just gonna look a little bit here. I think she's doing Heian Godan. So she demonstrates the move. I love the early 90s haircut she's got going on.
Love it.
Bunkai analysis. And then you see application. So what Fudashi Sensei did was exactly like this on the weekend. He would have somebody line up. You would practice. So you would practice a move. You'd think about it. You come back. A very literal application. Okay, so she's going to do, the big step and the hit. Oh, this is Kankudai. That's what she's doing. She's doing famous Kankudai. Then she does the literal application of the move. And then what Fudashi Sensei did was he would align his body and go, if you are like this is Oyo. This is a different application.
Okay.
So it was neat. He would line up and go, okay, do it. And it wouldn't work. He goes, well, then why are you moving your arms and legs, right?
No, it's good. It's super effective to know what you're doing for sure, but also how to line it up properly, especially when it comes to the bunkai. So I think that's great.
The other thing that worked really well was he would do the whole explanation, white to black belt would watch. Okay. Then he would say, all right, Richard, go take the junior ranks and go through the moves slowly as per how I just taught it. And I'll take the senior ranks. I'm going to go faster and be more technical with them.
Okay.
And it worked really well.
Yeah.
As long as he had that one backup person who could mimic him.
Sure.
Thank you. And and it worked really well because then everybody got a chance to see him. And he barely spoke any English. He spoke a lot of Japanese, but a lot of times he didn't translate because it was just like in Japanese saying, well, you should pull. See, I'm pulling. I'm doing this. I'm doing that. Now, you see how she's doing this application and she's doing it correctly? The funniest thing on the weekend, I mean, this was worth the price of admission, is he was like Jackie Chan in his humor, and he did so many jokes. Like, you get hit in the back of the head, boom, my eyes pop out. You do like an eye pop out thing, or get hit in the groin, like, oh, get hit in the groin, or boom, get hit in the nose.
It's like a classic animated Japanese instructor.
It was so, people were laughing so hard, and it was so enlightening. And then he would move like lightning fast.
Yeah.
Like, wow, he really knows how to perform. And it was neat because people they signed up for like one session thinking like, I'll just do 2 hours and I'll have my weekend, right? And then like, Sensei, you got to get me into the next session. Like, I know I'm not a black belt yet, but like, you got to get me into the next session.
Just itching. That's great.
Just itching. So anyway, when you're training, think about the meaning.
Perfect. There you go. That's a great one. I really like that. All right. My fitness training tip of the week is going to be simple, easy. How do you increase your muscular endurance? We're talking push-ups and pull-ups. So muscular endurance is absolutely necessary for most sport performance, but karate specifically. We're talking about the ability for a muscle to exert force over a period of time. How do you increase it? So if we're looking at push-ups is obviously a pushing exercise. And if we're looking at pull-ups, aptly named, a pulling exercise. So just two different sets of muscle groups that we can use for this. But if you want to get better at your push-ups, and that's what push-ups measure is muscular endurance. If you want to get better at them, want to be able to do more of them, one thing you want to think about is what we call the eccentric phase. So there's two different phases to contractions. There's a concentric phase. So if we look at just a bicep curl, let's just hold that for a second. It's an easy example. When you lift the weight up, that's the concentric. The muscle shortens, the angle shortens, that's concentric. When you let the weight back down and the muscle lengthens, that's eccentric. When we're talking push-ups, when you're going down, your muscles lengthening, so that's the eccentric. When you're pushing, your muscles shortening, that's concentric. So if you want to get better at muscular endurance, you actually want to focus on the lengthening, so the downwards motion of the push-up or the downwards motion of a pull-up as you're going, like letting your body back down. You want to control that as much as possible. So if you want to get better at your push-ups.
So it's not the fast push-up part.
No. You actually want to get better at the lowering. So if you're in a push-up in the top position, you want to control yourself down nice and slow and then push up nice and hard.
Got it.
Control yourself nice and slow and push up nice and hard. And even if that's hard and you can't push yourself up anymore, then just control yourself down.
That's so cool.
And then just however you want to get back up, control yourself back down.
Guess what we're doing tomorrow?
There you go. And you'll be surprised. if you really want to make it a good workout, do it as slow, like constantly moving, but as slow as you can.
When I first started karate, we would do push-ups like that, like on our knuckles, and like, okay, who takes the longest to get to the very bottom?
Probably the person with the shortest arms, or
Yes.
the longest arms. Longest, but
exactly.
But same thing with a pull-up. You pull yourself, you get yourself up there, and then you really control yourself back down. If you can control
what's actually happening? How's it improving?
So because the eccentric, your muscles lengthening for longer, when you actually get to doing full push-ups, trying to do as many as you can, those muscles, those lengthened muscles are already stronger, so that you'll be able to actually do the push-ups when they're normal for longer, or pull-ups for longer.
Interesting.
Yeah, so you want to think about that. Think about that eccentric phase.
Interesting.
The lengthening of the muscle. A lot of different science stuff happening there.
No, that's really, really cool. No, it's really cool. And especially for kids, like it's easier for them to go down than it is for them to go up, right? We've seen some amazing kids get strong, and their backs, because we've been doing a lot of the elbow, what do you call it? Like planks.
Yes.
We're doing a lot of planks.
Good.
And then the kids' backs are getting more and more straight. And now we've got kids like 6, 7 years old who can do a full push-up.
Perfect.
So
you got to be able to plank to be able to do a push-up.
Yeah, if you can't plank,
you can't push.
It's really interesting to see body types and how like some kids can't squeeze their core. Right?
Think about putting together a fundamental movements for karate, like fundamental exercises, like and a series of them. I've been thinking about this for a little bit. It's just fundamental things you should be able to do for karate performance.
That makes a lot of sense, and that would tie into something I've been thinking about: a pre and post routine for a class. Because you see a lot of people walk in and just sit on the floor.
Sure.
And like, dude, you should do like 10, 15 minutes beforehand to warm up.
Yeah.
You know, because you don't have a lot of time in the class.
For sure.
And then after, what's the routine you should do? So last night I gave them a routine.
Stretching or something, or whatever you need to work on. Yeah.
Tied into like, what should your fundamentals?
Yeah. No, I like that. And I think just a real simple list, 7, 8, maybe 9 different things. This is what you need to do for kumite or for kata or whatever.
Totally.
If we want to do push-ups, you got to do this. So sequence them.
A long time ago, people would say like, all right, when you're green belt or brown belt, you have to have a full front split. You have to do 100 push-ups. You have to do an L sit, but it didn't totally relate. I remember people being really strong and fit, but their kicks being really nice, but being really slow.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So there you go. That's my training tip of the week. Go try it and let me know how it goes. All right. Upcoming tournaments. What do we got happening here?
This weekend is the International University Championships in Kobe, Japan.
Awesome.
What Furuhashi Sensei is like, I can come to Canada for 2 weekends, but I got to be back for that tournament because it's near my hometown. I want to go watch it.
Awesome.
So
that's awesome. That's really good. That's this coming weekend. So that'll be July 21st, 22nd. Not much happening in the WKF world until August.
What do you know? What's famous about Kobe? Do you know what's famous about Kobe?
Sake.
Sake?
Is it?
Rice? There probably is sake rice there. That massive earthquake they had in 1995.
Okay.
That's number one. Killed like 3,000 people. Second is it's sort of between, or maybe just past Osaka. Sort of Osaka, Kobe, Osaka, and Kyoto are all sort of the same region.
Okay.
Also famous for the largest Yakuza organization in Japan is headquartered in Kobe.
Yakuza.
Yes.
Nice.
It's a port city.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right, there you go.
Super nice.
All right. Other things coming up in August. Now, not till August 22nd, will be the PKF Pan American Karate Federation's Cadet, Junior, and U21 Championships. That'll be big in Brazil for those junior athletes. Again, that's August 22nd to 25th. Then the next Premier League isn't until September again. September 14th to 16th, K1 Premier League in Berlin, Germany.
Mm-hmm.
So there you go. That's what's on tap. But, of course, every week, the Karate 360 podcast.
And for our own style, for Wadokai, the All Nations Tournament is the week of August in England.
There you go.
And the weekend before the Wadokai National Championships, 2,000 people in Tokyo.
Perfect.
Man, it's really interesting when you have to think about how many layers of tournaments there are.
So many. Yeah.
Awesome.
All right. Well, that just about wraps up this episode, guys. Thanks again for tuning in. These come out every Monday.
Absolutely.
Make sure you follow us, karate360podcast.com, Karate360 on YouTube, Facebook, everything.
That's right. Follow us in your car. Buy us a coffee.
Whatever you want. Whatever. We'll figure it out. All right. I'm one of the co-hosts, Kalen Anglos.
Rich Mazzo.
Thanks, guys. We'll talk to you next week.
San Rokumaru.
Bye for now.